Hello everyone, this is John for pokervip.com, and in this video I am making a Sky Poker 6-tabling mixed stakes fest grind, and yeah, just really looking forward to hopping in the games and seeing what's new. Playing 30, 40 and 50 NL, so it's the perfect sort of like video for people who are trying to break out of 20 NL or maybe already play these games and are trying to move up. I chose 6 tables as sometimes the action on Sky can be a little slow, so yeah, just hoping this will be the best way to do it. So top left here, going to go ahead and 3-bet the 10s, small blind versus button, and bottom middle here, I'm going to go ahead and check raise my set. 8-10, I'm going to fold, and the 10s here we get a pretty bad flop. One he can definitely connect with a lot of his pre-flop calling range, so I'm actually just going to check there. We can certainly have a lot of ace queens and ace kings as well, so I don't expect him to bluff me that often if I do check here. And he actually bets pot, right? Which is very interesting. Me, I'm really not too sure what he pot bets with here. Like bluffs, draws, made hands. Very strange sizing. I mean, obviously for us we're going to fold, but it would put us in a very strange spot if we had a hand like ace king. Ace 8 here we open and we get led into. I think we're just that good shot we can fold. You know, implied odds of if we hit, we actually get paid. Five C, I think we can check on this kind of bad board, and 5-7 we're not going to defend. Top right, pocket eights on the button, just going to come in for a min. And Queen 10 we're going to raise bottom middle blind versus blind. Definitely a strong enough hand to do so. Going to go ahead and I mean we're going to just take a check call line here, I think, with the Queen 10 in the bottom middle. You know, one of those medium strength hands that we can definitely go ahead and take that line with. Pocket 8 is going to call the 3-bet in position, and sadly the Queen 10 we get a really bad flop. Bottom left we're going to call with our 2 overs and the gut shot to the nuts. Queen 10, I mean, I'm going to check, and river's going to be interesting if he bets. Maybe going to be a check call hero. Going to bet the 8s once checked to. If he folds a hand like ace king, that'd be fine. And 10 jack, I'm going to go ahead and float again bottom left. Queen 10, as I said, I think I'm going to make a hero call here. He actually correctly value bets 6-high flush there. And sadly, he actually leaves the game. But we'll sit there and wait. This guy's wrapping on like 10s or jacks maybe, where I've got the 8s. If he bets the river, I'll be very confused. He does as well, and he absolutely bombs it. It really doesn't make that much sense. Why would he do this with like a queen or better, like aces or kings? Really not too sure. I think we can find a better spot to call though. If you have any questions, please leave them below, or of course leave me a review. Got some notes on the players from previous videos I've made, or perhaps just when I've been grinding. We'll definitely look at those if the situation arises. But that ICROC hand there with the 8s, very strange to just go ahead and pot that river. Potting is definitely something you see a lot more on a site like Sky. And you basically just kind of have to start making some good solid guesses, and then hopefully start seeing some showdowns to turn those guesses into reality. 9-10 offsuit top left, I make a very easy defend pre-flop. I think Turner can actually go ahead and bet here and just hope to win with 10 high, or if he calls we can hit an 8 or a queen to improve. So I would assume would be the best hand, which we actually do here. Let's get a pocket queens and ace 10, but I do block ace 10. We bet though he calls and we win that one. Maybe ace queen. Let's have a look. Hand history could definitely be better on Sky. King deuce. So I actually just took a loose button open. And then took a bit of pot control on the flop and made a good call on the turn. So I actually quite like his line. On that river, if I was him, I think I fold. I know he is kind of just taking the induce line, but I mean that is a really bad river for him. And the fact that I'm betting out on turn and then continuing to bet that river should probably ring some alarm bells, you know, for him. Ace-10 here versus Reverend. Min raised equals hand. Interesting. But pre-flop, we're just going to basically be like, okay, the 60p in there, plus our small blind. Let's go ahead and raise it to 150 and try and take down that dead money. And top right, we're just going to go ahead and call the button versus Ronto, who seems to be a bit of a weak, crazy player. Jack Queen versus Aces here. Wow, big pot there. Must be nice to get aces in that spot, Mr. Alan Carr, who is a reg and has been a reg for a very long time on this site. So Ronto here, I get a pretty bad flop. 2 over cards. You can definitely have lots of, pocket nines or better. Some Jack Queens, King Jacks, Ace Jacks. So it's going to be a pretty easy check for me here and just hope to get the showdown or improve. He checks again. I think I go ahead and just start betting now, just in case he does have a hand like King Queen, Ace Queen, or Ace King and wants to call. The limp fest continues, and he folds, which is a fine result for our hand. Obviously, Sky, no hood. But with that, you do just get much softer games. Really easy to, earn up to the 30% rate back as well with their VIP scheme. Of course, often part of our monthly rake race. Raise the Ace King. Just go for about pot on my 3-bet sizing generally. It'll always be around 3.5 to 4x. Games are looking good. Lots of random stack sizes around. Wish I saw some more greens. Like, I just generally tag players as green throughout my travels of making these lower to micro stakes videos. Ace Queen on the button. I still min raise. Definitely something I've been thinking about in the sort of if you're playing 4 NL to 20 NL or maybe even 30 NL, you can start changing your sizing. You can start changing your sizing a bit when opening if you don't believe the player's paying attention. I make a really loose call here with the 7-9 on the button. I do defend my button quite wide, specifically against people who I have some specific reads on. Pretty easy call here. I wish I had there was a spade on the flop, but with second pair, it's going to be an easy peel. Pocket nines, I just called bottom left and going to go ahead and fold this flop. And the nines now I'm just going to start betting and building a pot with. He's going to check call me pretty wide with a jack, queens, kings, aces, maybe some flush draws and some straight draws. So we're not going to just instantly lose value by betting. 4, really good, brick, irrelevant card. He now leads, which is very strange. Perhaps has a bit of a blocker bet with the jacks. I think as the draw missed, I'm going to make my hand look super weak and go all in. And hope to get called by worse. So I think he just has a bet at 9 and snaps, which is not the good result. But I think once those draws miss and his hand is quite face up to being a jack, queens, kings, or aces, and he's led that river, I think jamming is a pretty interesting line there. Also as well, you've got to take into account these guys, they come across lots of random players, lots of weird spazzes, and I think that could certainly be one of them from in their eyes. So I'm happy I went for the value there, just right into the 9. And I'm actually surprised he took that line on the turn. With a check call, he definitely deceived me and earned that £30. Quite thin. I understand if some people are looking in thinking, wow, that is quite thin. But those are kind of the spots you need to take on a site like Sky. It's kind of you're sat across a table playing a live 1-2 game. The guy there is obviously, just that typical not so good player who has a bit of an ego and likes to call and doesn't really understand the strategy. So you want to go ahead and get all the money off him. And that is kind of the approach I take to sites like this. 30NL game is running in the bottom middle, as they generally do. They always just fill up, so that's always good news. And I've opened 6-8 and I've c-bet the queen, queen, 9 flop. And we take it down. Just going to be one of those where I bet once, and if called, then I'm going to give up. A7 bottom right, I raise and get 3-bet, and it's going to be a pretty easy fold. Not a hand we want to defend with, nor we really need to be 4-betting there. Pocket fours, I face a pretty easy peel pre-flop bottom left. And everything else is pretty standard. I'll go ahead and just c-bet top left. We get 2 callers here with our king jack. Queen high flops generally not good because lots of people can have queens in their range. So we're going to go ahead and check that one. And we're going to go ahead and bet this turn. We can certainly have more aces than these guys. And also we do have that 10 as a little backup. But they just snap fold, and our line looks legit, it looks strong, so plan worked well there. Queen 7 I open, I'm just going to go ahead and bet this flop. Expect to win a lot on this flop. He calls though, which is interesting. I think I might go for 3 streets here as a bluff. You know, it's going to have lots of 8x's and lots of flush draws. Don't think it's going to have that many aces. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet. I bet my gut shot top right as well, and we do just take it down bottom middle there. I mean, he's just got so many 8s. Being 3-bet again bottom right. This is quite interesting. I don't know if Ronto's picking on me, trying to isolate me, or just is waking up with some hands. But we are going to go ahead and fold again. You know, one thing I will say, like quite a big myth that we need to bust is you can definitely bluff at these limits. You know, we thought that guy had an 8. We followed through with it, and he folded. So, happy days. Interesting with the ace-10. Was thinking about a squeeze, but with that guy's stack, I'm not too sure. I'm just going to opt to peel. Ace-7, no good. Pocket 4 is going to continue to bet. And we're going to c-bet top right our straight. We're going to call it a straight flush draw. We're going to be very optimistic. Get called by newbie time. I think he's going to just have lots of queen x's, so we're just going to bet. Can't see him having a better set. Can't see him having 6-7. So, and now we're going to lead with the ace-10. I'm surprised he folded there. I thought we'd just get value from a queen all day, every day. Get called by Bazerman, and the backdoor flush gets there. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bet fold. He's going to have some 8s and 9s in his range that he might call me with, or some worse 10s perhaps. Yeah, we're just going to fold. Going to carry on betting our flush bottom left. Ooh, interesting. The 7 of clubs gets there. I'm going to bet small. Check and raise. We get some value there. He's just going to have lots of like 10 jack queen x of clubs, so don't need to go too big. It's not like getting shoved on by Bazerman there, but his hand is often going to be maybe a full house, that flush that gets there. Maybe he's just gone crazy with an overpair. I just don't think we're going to be getting bluffed that often there. Going to continue to barrel my straight draw bottom left. He could call me on the flop with like a pocket pair, perhaps an 8, like 7-8 suited. Now we can now get him to fold on the turn. So definitely happy to barrel. 6-7 flop 2 pair. I mean, it's a pretty good flop for our hand. We also have that backdoor flush draw. So I'm going to go ahead and bet it for a bit of protection there. And, you know, we can basically just check pretty much every turn and then think about value betting or calling rivers. We get called, which is not great. I don't think he's going to actually have that many worse hands here. So I'm going to check and just really hope we get to showdown. And he shows with like pocket 5s or ace high. 8's not good either, considering 7-9, 8-9. That'll kind of improve. Going to bet the ace. I think I'm going to fold the 6-7 here. No limping on my watch, top right. We're going to go ahead and raise that and charge him to come into this pot. Very interesting sessions you have on here. You really see it all on a site like this. I used to make a lot of Sky videos in the past, and that's kind of what prompted me to make a new one. I haven't played on here personally for a while. I've been kind of focusing on sites like TonyBet, but this is certainly one that you need to check out. And you know, having the locker. 3-bet the ace queen, c-bet this flop, take it down. Obviously, you can barrel a lot of turn cards there, jacks or better. I'll go ahead and start getting value if we hit an ace or queen. Ace 4, good flop. Just going to bet. Don't expect to have many hands that beat me here. Terrible turn card. Flush gets there, straight gets there, and he can have some ace 5s. Going to check and probably go for a check call here, depending on his sizing. I mean, with his stack size, it is quite awkward if he goes for like near pot. Check though. We check it down and we win. That's nice. Very big mix of players. Some are going to be passive there, some are going to be super strong there. Alan Carr, 3-bet 7-9 suited, small bet versus button, bet called off. Okay, that's not that helpful in this scenario. But with three-handed, we have pocket jacks and he's opened the button. So that can, you know, tell us a lot about the story. I think I'm going to go ahead and check this flop and go for a check call. Pocket nine's about middle, he led. I mean, I hate that turn because obviously now we just can't beat the second pair lead. We're going to go for a call down here, and yeah, he just shows up with some absolute garbage. Going to continue to check the jacks. Going to go for a check call again. Don't expect to have queens or aces. I think I might check again here, just see if I can get him to bluff. Sadly not. Maybe miss some value there versus hand like pocket nines. We will see in a second. Ace queen, okay. I'm going to go ahead and just c-bet half pot my aces. Very dry board. 3 hands that beat us, realistically. Pocket 3s, pocket 5s. And of course, pocket 10s. All well within his range. Flop a set. Very good spot for us hand. You know, expect us to have the best hand all of the time here because nobody 3-bet pre with jacks. Deuce on the turn, ace 5 and 5-6 get there, but how often does he fat those in the small blind? Just not that often, I think. So I'm going to continue to bet and hope he's got a flush draw or a jack. Great row for us there. Don't expect to have pocket 10s again, but you can definitely have a hand like 10 jack. I'm just going to bet again, and I'm just going to go £8.50. Give him a good price, 3 to 1. And he actually folds, so I guess he just had some, you know, flush draw there. Gonna defend the 7-9 off versus a min. $10-3 bottom left, this guy limped, I checked. I mean, I have to call with top pair, even though, like, we just kind of hate the situation in our hand and our kicker. Gonna have to call a turn. 9's not great, but probably gonna have to call the river as well here. $5-3 off wins. I think we have a bit of a fish there, guys. Call the 10-3, beat 6-7, who's value betting a worse hand, ladies and gentlemen. Which happens a lot. A lot. They just value bet so randomly. Jack's eye, open pre-flop, I make a very easy check call. Interesting that he bets again. Referring very strong, but I think I have to call again, considering how I've hidden the strength of my hand. And I don't expect him to bluff this river that often, because I can definitely be check calling down with ace highs a lot. And he does just check indeed. I'd imagine he had a combo draw, or was just kind of airballing. Always checking what they had. 4-5. Okay, so yeah, a pair and a straight draw. Happy to play heads up on here a lot. Just like to build games. I never really sit out. Been 3-betting a lot, haven't I? I'm on this top right table, but all with genuine hands. King Jack, just to know here, bottom left, I'm pot sizing it pre-flop. 4x would be fine, but basically with this dead blind post, I'm happy to go ahead and raise it. That little exercise to give people a little less of a price to come along, and so I can just scoop the money that's in there. Ace Queen is going to go ahead and bet. And same with the King Jack. You get check ripped on here. I would bet a lot of money that he has a 10 and a diamond. You know, it's kind of the only hand that would make sense as a check jam here. Unless you're just one of these crazy people who has like 10s or, you know, like jacks or, you know, jacks or 9s and just goes crazy or something. King Jack, I checked turn. I would have bet any Jack, Queen, King, or Ace. But the 4 completes the straight there as well, so we're going to just give that one up. Big pot here, bottom right. Interesting to see what comes of this. He just takes it down without the showdown. So yeah, I've described this site the same way since it ever came around. It is a minefield. I actually have a sneaky suspicion Sky Poker is about to get bought by a other poker company, and that's not something I've heard like working in the industry. But I know Sky Poker no longer have Sky TV. I know they did change hands. It just kind of feels like maybe they're kind of like maybe on, maybe wanting to look to get some more platforms going on the Sky network, which would be cool. I mean, if Sky opened up like more countries, then it would just be awesome. King 10 I bet. Everyone checks flops, and then everyone checks turn, so I imagine they just don't really have draws or big aces. So just a bit of a weakness sensing there, basically, that we can now just go ahead and pounce on. And it's nice when it works out. King's going to go ahead and raise. Been very active, and we've got this Ike Rock. What did he do at the start of the video? He did something interesting. So, yeah, I think he might just be crazy. Now he's done 2 interesting things. King's pretty interesting flop. Yeah, let's go ahead and bet. He's going to have lots of Jack Queens, Jack 10s. Ace Jack would suck, so we're Jack 9, but we're going to bet here. He could have 2 pair himself. He calls so quick. I think I'm just going to 3/4 pot and not fold. Suck if he jammed, but don't think I can fold there. He actually folds super quick. Maybe just had like 10 Jack. But I don't think checking's going to induce, and if he has a hand like, Queen 10, or if super cool with him, he's got like King 10 or Queen 10, I want to get that value. I tend not to trap that much on this site. If anyone's seen my Tony Bet videos, I often induce a lot on the river by betting smaller checking. On here, I get more straight up value. Gonna go ahead and ISO. I've got to mark this render as a green. Stack size limping. Everything just makes it look like he's a weak player. Ooh, the super cooler, top right. Aces versus the king. Ooh, it gets even worse. King on the river. Poker's never easy. I guess I just bet here. He's not going to have that many sets. He's not going to have that many better kings. So let's see if we can get some value from a queen or some draws. He just folds though in the end. Game starting again. Bottom middle. Loads of traffic at these stakes on their Sky. If you were from the UK or Finland, you should probably be playing on here. Jackson just taking a check line. I think I'll call at least 1 bet here. Don't like the river. So just another hand that beats us now. And wow, he has ace 10 and checks. I think Reed is a weak player. I think that is safe to say. I think that is definitely safe to say. Can I just check this ace queen? I want to make my hand look like ace king or like an underpair and just see if I can start getting him to bluff at this. He checked. I think now I just go for half pot and hope he calls me with the pair. He does. That's nice. He has 2 pair. Cool. And he shows it. It's like, dude, look at this cooler. And again, I'm going to mark him as a weak player because of his stack size and the fact he showed a hand. Blue's not happy that he lost with his aces. Nor would I be. So yeah, the 7-9 suited hand is definitely the hand that stands out of this video. Very interested to see comments on that one. 10 Jack suited, bottom middle, very straightforward. Pre-flop call, turn call. River would be interesting if he bets, but yeah, he just checks. Go defend bottom middle, and I think I'm going to hero call with the 5 top. Nice bet with the king 8. Going to float the ace 10. He checks. I think I just bet the turn. I want him to fold all these sort of overcards and better aces. I hate checking down there and them having ace jack or ace queen or ace king. Or just checking and letting them make a pair. We might as well float and, you know, bluff and go through with that. Even though we do have, like, some showdown value with the ace. A double barrel, maybe triple barrel with his 10 deuce. He didn't 3-bet me pre, so he's not going to have that many strong aces. Or even that many strong kings. A7, very easy pre-call, flop call. Blah. Must be getting late. Okay, just check, and I think I call here if he bets. But it's certainly too thin to value bet. But hoping he sort of like reps the wheel, but he didn't. Three bet the ace-5 suited, can certainly just peel it pre as well. But I've been peeling a lot, so time to start getting some 3-bets in. Bottom left, 8-10 suited, isolating a... Again, I mean, we just have to mark these guys like all the time. Straightforward peel top left, getting a good price with a suited queen. Eight on the river, maybe? Not many people have a flush here. I was going to say, if he checks, I might just like overbet the pot. But... Peeled with the queen nine suited. Flop 3 of a kind, and we're gonna call it a straight flush draw. The optimism is real. Sometimes I feel like check raising here, just to make it look like I don't have a queen, but it just does look too strong. So go for the call. Send the flush draw. River the flush. Just gonna go ahead and half pot it again because we know he doesn't have a strong hand at all. We block everything. We have everything, but if we check, he's just gonna check back again. Get 3-bet the ace-9 suited. And gonna go for a check call on this flop. Don't love the 10, he can have lots of 10s. Not anymore. Now we can just start betting and be very sure that we have the best hand. Okay, don't think he's gonna have 7-8 that often. Might check here and just try and induce. I don't think he's just got anything. Like, I think he's got like just so many jack queens and missed flush draws or something. So just gonna go for a check call even if he jams. Oh my god. Quad 10s, ladies and gentlemen. Quad 10s. Did not expect to ever be losing there. Like, ever. I would have bet any amount of money that I had the best hand in that spot. But he had the quads. He had the quads, and he won a big pot because of it. He won 100 BBs. I mean, I was so confident there. Very hard to make quads. Calling pre pocket 10s is fine, although he was half stacked, so if I was him, I would have probably just gone with it. But yeah, very hard to make quads, especially when someone has second pair top kicker and the flush draws and everything. But definitely happy with that river play. I mean, you could wake up with that like pocket 6s, I guess, but I'm cool with it. Queen 8, I bet. Going to go ahead and check the turn and think about the river. If he bets again, it would be odd. I'll just check here and go to showdown versus 5s. And I think we just call it a video there. It's about 30 minutes. And yeah, I would love to hear some comments, love to see some reviews. Check out Sky, get signed up. And this was John for PokerVIP.com. Good luck at the tables.